Boys and girls, grab your waterproof party pants because we are about to enter the splash zone. With the distinct possibility that the Bitcoin dominance could be topping out in the short term and we're heading for an alt season, what projects do we have to be looking towards for massive pumpage? And in fact, this is a question I've gotten over and over and over again over the last couple of days, so we are going to be addressing it today in this video. And guys, while I don't expect this alt season to be as absolutely massive as the prior alt season, which would look like this on this chart, absolutely crazy, I do have a market cap in mind for this alt season that definitely lends itself to insane gainers. So guys, get buckled in, and strapped on, because we are about to dive into the crypto zone. Welcome back, everyone. I'm your host, Mary Milkers, and today in this special webisode update, we're going to be going over some altcoins that I think definitely merit some paying attention to over the next 12 months. Now guys, whether you're in altcoins or just Bitcoin, this market is and always will be, at least for the next 5-10 years, pretty volatile, so you always have to keep that in mind. And as well, in this video, we're not only going to be talking about like my favorite altcoins, but we're going to kind of have a diverse range of, again, some of my absolute favorite altcoins to some altcoins that I have just, recently gotten interested in that I think have very, very good use cases and very high potentials over the next 6 to 12 months, especially within the next 6 months if in fact we are headed towards a very nice alt rump alert. Unbelievable. So if you guys love the opportunities the altcoin market can potentially afford us this year, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, as some of this material is incredibly time sensitive, so you want to get that alert almost immediately. And without any further ado, let's dump in. Wow, so we're going to be starting off this video talking about projects you might be more familiar with, and we're going to be working our way through. And again, they're in no particular order in terms of their market cap, and as well, make sure to leave a comment below and maybe we can just cover more in another video. Again, this is not like every single altcoin that I like. This is just a small video on some coins that I think deserve some attention and in fact have received much attention in many cases. Whoa, so the first coin we have here is Aave, which does allow lending and borrowing of crypto. So lenders actually earn interest by adding liquidity into the ecosystem here. It allows borrowing and lending in roughly about 20 cryptocurrencies. And fixed and variable interest rates are an option that give advantages to this DeFi project over others. Currently, Aave's market cap sits right around $2 billion US. And before we go any further, guys, I personally expect that the altcoin market cap is going to get at least a valuation of $1 trillion in this cycle. If we take a look really briefly here, the entire cryptocurrency market cap recently has broken $1 trillion, and this is just the beginning of the cycle, so it's not crazy to assume that another $500 billion of value will be added in just the altcoin space over the next 12 months. In fact, right now we're sitting right under $1 trillion in market cap, as Bitcoin has had a little bit of a pullback and some of these alts as well, although some of our favorite alts are doing very well today, and some of them are going to be featured in this video as well. But guys, my point here is this is the entire altcoin market cap. This was the previous all-time high, roughly about $500 billion. And I personally am looking minimum to see altcoin market cap reach at least $1 trillion, which would be right about here on this chart. This green chart you see, or this green price action you see pasted on here, is actually if you would replicate the last alt season. I actually made this a little bit smaller. Last alt season was even bigger on a logarithmic scale. So again, this is not on here to say at all that this is how high I think the altcoin market cap is going. This would be absolutely insane. So I definitely don't think this is where the altcoin market cap is going. Personally, I think to me what makes the most sense if the altcoin space gets very, very explosive and we kind of get some price predictions shattered here, I think a $5 trillion market cap within the next 1 to 2 years for altcoins is very possible. Again, that's kind of like my peak prediction if everything goes right over, again, 1 to 2 years. There would most likely be a dramatic pullback if we ever did attain those levels before we would ever, again, subsequently surpass them. So that would just look about like this on this chart. Again, keep in mind, this is what alt season did last time. It goes way beyond that. So much bigger. Again, I'm also trying to be a little conservative. Could the entire altcoin space be valued at over $5 trillion in the next 1 to 2 years? It absolutely could, but I'm just trying to be a little conservative, a little realistic, but also not too conservative and too moon boyish at the same time. So with that being said, you can expect that if altcoins were really valued at $5 trillion total, so everything not including Bitcoin, if the entire altcoin space was valued at roughly $5 trillion over the next 1 to 2 years, that would leave room for many projects, a lot of these top projects, to be, roughly $100 billion in market cap, maybe even slightly bigger than that. And over the next few years, I fully expect the top altcoins, some, okay, we're only talking maybe a handful here, so not a lot, but having the market cap of what Bitcoin has roughly now, which Bitcoin's current market cap is roughly $660 billion as I'm recording this video. So Bitcoin itself is over $500 billion in market cap. So again, even though we look at these numbers like a $2 billion market cap is big, which again, it is pretty big, what altcoins and cryptocurrency aims to do, talk about derivatives with tens of trillions of dollars in value. If we're talking about cryptocurrency disrupting that sector or getting involved and kind of sticking its fingers in that ecosystem, then yeah, we're talking about $50 billion, $100 billion market cap for some of these top projects, even more than that, right? Again, like I just said, some projects, ideally over the next 5-10 years, will have much more than Bitcoin's current market cap. That's how much room for growth ultimately I think we'll have. Keep in mind, guys, this market is very volatile, so even though I'm saying we could be hitting a $5 trillion market cap for the altcoins over the next 1 to 2 years, if we did that, a drop down below $3 trillion, $2 trillion in market cap coming after is something that you would have to expect, right? This is not a get-rich-quick scenario. There are a lot of ups and downs, so again, I just want to kind of put that disclaimer out before we continue the video. So currently with a roughly $2 billion market cap, Aave is trading right around $200 US. And again, that is because the circulating supply is a couple million less than Bitcoin. Right now, it is about 12 million circulating supply. Max supply is around 16 million, again, which is a little less than what Bitcoin's current circulating supply is. So number 2, my absolute favorite altcoin besides Ethereum is Chainlink. Really, probably most of you don't need an explanation on Chainlink. Currently, it actually has just reached its all-time high. It might have just literally broken a new all-time high right now as I'm recording this. The new all-time high was set this week. We can even just take a look here real quick. Chainlink, yeah, it is basically at a new all-time high today. This is the daily chart. It's literally at an all-time high. So what a great time to be talking about it, as it's a coin that I first got in around $3 just months ago, and it's a coin that I fully expect to be pretty deep into 3 digits within the next 6 months, 6 to 12 months, so within the next year. So basically what I'm saying is, I think it's very likely that we're going to see minimum a $100 Chainlink within the next 6 to 12 months. Now again, buying in at $4 and riding that up to $100, $150 per Chainlink is amazing. It's still not too late in my opinion. Buying at $23 and then maybe riding it up to, $100, $200 per Chainlink is still an amazing ROI. And fundamentally, this project is as sound as any altcoin that I have ever found, right? And that's one of the reasons I've been invested in Chainlink for roughly about a year now. Okay, it is the decentralized Oracle network. It aims to connect real-world data with smart contracts. Its focus is to connect blockchain smart contracts and real-world applications. It's an issue that needs solving because blockchains cannot access anything outside of their own network, out of their own blockchain, and Link addresses this, right? Oracles connect real-world data, like say something like the weather, that may be triggered via smart contracts in order to fulfill an intended purpose. So literally Chainlink, you're taking a blockchain and linking it with other blockchains. Amazing name, amazing idea, and very necessary as well. And it's no surprise to people that have been involved in Chainlink people that have been involved much longer than I have. I've only had Chainlink for roughly a year, but some people have been talking about it much longer, and it's really no surprise that it's currently valued at $23 and actually hitting its all-time high. So even though this project is valued at roughly 10 billion, keep in mind much higher than the last project, Aave, we just talked about, the upside potential is still very big, and like I just said a few minutes ago, some of these projects I expect to have $100 billion plus market cap. This is one of those projects. So for that to happen, it would need a minimum of a 10x from here. So yeah, you can do the math. I personally think even though Chainlink is one of the biggest players in the space at this point, it is still something that I'm extremely excited in, and I think there is a lot of upside potential, and that is why Chainlink actually occupies my number 2 spot in my altcoin bag. And number 3, guys, Parsec is actually a coin that I invested in kind of right at the beginning. It was actually brought to my attention by Yelio Trades himself over on TylerSCrypto, and it's a coin that I've been, he's talked about quite a few coins, and I have not bought pretty much any of them except Parsec. It was one that he talked about, and then I also researched and I thought, wow, this absolutely is a beautiful gem. So Parsec, we're talking about only $140 million market cap. So guys, keep in mind, we just talked about Chainlink with a $10 billion market cap. Now we're talking about Parsec with a $100 million market cap. And if you don't know what that means, basically, it's extremely small in value, and the upside potential is enormous if it does balloon into anything similar to some of these top 5, 10, 15, $20 cryptocurrencies, especially over the next 6 to 12 months. The upside potential for a coin this small but as solid as this project is absolutely wild. Current circulating supply is about 100 million, max supply about 500 million. So it's not going to get up to, $40, $50, $60,000 like Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be valued at. But again, the market cap is so small and the project itself is pretty crazy. Platform for monitoring and intelligence, which enables users to do tracking across networks in real time, connecting blockchain events in real time and at large scale, and connecting them with off-chain apps and devices as well. I did some research and then I wrote up my own little summary synopses here, and that is what I'm reading off the screen. And guys, before we take a deep dive into some smaller alts, we're going to be talking about some two big boys here. So obviously Ethereum. I'm not really going to spend too much time talking about Ethereum. In fact, I made a video just 24 hours ago pretty much saying everything I wanted to say about Ethereum. Even though Ethereum does have a $140 billion market cap. We just talked about a $100 million market cap project, which was PRQ. Now we're talking about a $140 billion market cap, the second biggest cryptocurrency that exists. So obviously this is not some rare cryptocurrency that nobody knows about. However, I still personally think the upside for Ethereum is crazy, and specifically within the next 1 to 2 months, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that upside play out. So I'm very excited for Ethereum. I probably will be riding Ethereum up for the next 1 to 2 months and maybe then transferring that into some even smaller alts. But because that's usually how the cycles go: Bitcoin, bigger alts, and then smaller alts. But again, many people would agree Ethereum is something as necessary to have in your portfolio as Bitcoin itself. And the last of the absolutely mega big boy savage coins here, Cardano. Obviously, again, another pretty big coin. Cardano, I think I just said Cardano. Cardano, $11 billion market cap. Again, one of the top 5 coins, so still very big. But the thing that's appealing to me about this coin is that this project is basically just getting started. It hasn't had too much going on over the last few years, but we're finally entering the stage where I think Cardano is going to have a lot being built on it, and that's exciting. And that's one of the reasons we've seen a pretty big run up over the last 3 months. If we go here from a price of roughly, let's go to its low of about maybe like 10 cents. Yeah, roughly around 10 cents to its current valuation of about 40 cents. And again, even though this is one of the bigger coins, a $31 billion circulating supply with a $45 billion max supply. Again, this is never going to reach $50,000, $60,000 like Bitcoin and Ethereum possibly could. But again, this is something I think is going to eat up some of the market cap of some of these bigger alts, and it's something that I think is also worth paying attention to. Remember, some of the biggest coins are that for a reason. They're more trustworthy, they're not rug pulls, and again, that's why I try to avoid talking about really small coins, except ones that I think are very, very serious and competitive in the future. But again, Cardano is just a coin that does make sense to have in your portfolio, in my opinion. And then we have VeChain, which is another coin many of you just comment all the time, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about it. Before we get into some smaller coins here, we have another 5 coins that are much smaller that we're about to be delving into. But VeChain's current market cap, roughly almost 2 billion, circulating supply of about 65 billion, max supply of about 86 billion. So again, we're not looking at anything like a $60,000 VeChain ever, but it is a very interesting project. What it aims to do is actually solve supply chain issues, which could be an amazing issue that cryptocurrency can tackle over the next few years. It's a very big issue in general in the world, and it's something cryptocurrency can do very well. What it aims to do is create an ecosystem around the Internet of Things, and it wants to reduce costs of supply chains by boosting traceability and efficiency and giving the users a lot of control and transparency of supply chains themselves. And next, with a market cap comparable to PRQ, still pretty small, less than $500 million in market cap, Reserve Rights RSR is another coin that I think has some pretty good potential. It's actually one of these coins that I've invested in for a fair amount of time now. You can see this chart actually goes back to the middle of 2019. Up over 3,000% since its inception, and still roughly only 20% down from its all-time high, so actually quite near its all-time high. Launched in May 2019, this dual token stablecoin platform is not backed by USD like many stablecoins, but backed by a basket of cryptos managed by smart contracts, and it distances itself for the need to be trusted by a custodian like some of these other altcoins, and it eventually aims to transition to include more diverse baskets, including securities, derivatives, and synthetics. And this is just a unique application that I think could become very useful in the future here. Currently only sitting around 4 cents. But it is a coin that I'm personally invested in, and as well, its market cap is quite small. So even if it didn't perform as well as some people might expect, it most likely will still perform very well, just considering how small it already is and the buzz and the actual technology behind it as well. And next, one of my absolute favorite altcoins, and I'm actually using this altcoin in a way right now. I'm using the Brave browser. So basically, when it comes down to it, if you're looking for something that is actually being used, like an actual product in the space, because that's a complaint I feel like a lot of people have, that crypto is just imaginary money and it doesn't do anything. Well, this cryptocurrency, I'm literally basically using it right now as I use the Brave browser to avoid ads and to just have a more seamless process. I love the Brave browser. I've been using it for a very long time now, and I believe it might actually be the most used crypto product in general, because even people that aren't invested in crypto use or have downloaded and used the Brave browser because of how nice it is. What are your options? Google Chrome, you got Mozilla Firefox, you have Safari, you have Internet Explorer. Personally, I choose Brave browser over all of them because of the user experience. I find it very seamless, and you don't got to deal with any ads, which is also amazing. Currently, its market cap is roughly less than $500 million, roughly $400 million in the entire market cap, sitting around 27 cents. Max circulating supply around 1.5 billion, and it's currently circulating at about 1.48 billion. So again, BAT, Basic Attention Token, is a coin that I've been invested in for a while. Its price action has not been amazing over the past few months, but it is a coin that I think has some very nice surprise upside potential because of the fact that it's actually being used, right? Some of these projects on this list we talked about were things that, like maybe even Cardano, which we have some very interesting working projects right around the corner, but some of them don't really have anything useful just yet, right? A lot of this is just speculation based on fact. But this is something that has been out and working and interesting for a while now. And yet another pretty small cap coin here, Ren, is a coin I've also been invested in for a couple of months. Market cap roughly right around $500 million US, currently around 61 cents. Ren is built to provide interoperability and liquidity between blockchains, and it helps to grow interoperability of DeFi by addressing liquidity issues in the ecosystems, and it helps alleviate the need for something like wrapped Bitcoin or wrapped Ethereum when you want to swap between two different blockchains. So again, very interesting use case, only 61 cents, still pretty low market cap, and over the next 6 to 12 months, it's something. My camera actually stopped recording, so I'm going to try and remember where I left off or where it cut out there. But yeah, Ren, very interesting coin. Let's move on. So here we have the Sandbox, or Sand. And this is something actually brought to my attention by BitBoy. And guys, this is something that actually hits one of my niches very close to home. I was interested in Twitch very early on, like back in 2011, 2012, I believe, 2013, maybe even earlier than that. Basically because back then I was very into gaming. Gaming as itself is a massive ecosystem that has absolutely ballooned over the past 5 to 10 years, right? We're talking about viewership numbers that are bigger than the NFL in many cases when it comes to gaming tournaments like the LCS, League of Legends, stuff like that. So gaming is something that you don't want to underestimate. It's something that I think is going to be explosive for years to come. I see no reason why gaming would go away. In fact, the only thing I see for gaming is massive explosion, massive upside. With platforms like Twitch, where people live stream themselves playing games, guys, that isn't going anywhere. In fact, Amazon Jeff Bezos invested and bought out Twitch, I believe, a few years ago. Bezos makes the gainers. Bezos is a very intelligent person. Gaming in general is just a sector that I think is almost a surefire bet. Gaming is such a big, beautiful industry that, guys, I mean, let's be realistic. Kids these days, they love gaming. Every kid that gets born, more and more gamers. I really don't have to explain myself on why video gaming is going to keep growing most likely. But Sandbox right here is a crypto gaming, virtual gaming world cryptocurrency. Basically what it says here, it claims to be a virtual world where players can build, own, and monetize their gaming experiences in the Ethereum blockchain using Sand, the platform's utility token. Okay, if you want to read more about it. But ideally, this is a very cool concept, very interesting concept. And I just think this is a little riskier in my opinion than some of the other ones that I've talked about in terms of like what I think is like guaranteed virtually. So this risk is a little bit higher, but this is still extremely small, only a $31 million market cap. Currently it's listed on, like Binance. So again, there's a big source of liquidity there for it. And again, just never underestimate, in my opinion, anything having to do with gaming. And particularly what this aims to do is actually kind of interesting. And as well, we have Synthetics, which is currently trading around $15. However, notice the market cap is already roughly almost $2 billion, circulating supply of about 115 billion, max supply of almost double that, 212 billion. Actually, it looks as though it has just hit its all-time high recently. If we go here to the last year. We can take a look here real quick. All-time high of about $17, currently trading about 15.5, and I believe this is another coin that does have a lot of upside potential here. It's only roughly about 8% away from its all-time high as I'm recording. All-time high again of roughly about $17. But yeah, it's a DeFi trading platform that consists of uses synthetic assets. So something very interesting here. This one I've personally done a little less research than some of the other ones, so I have a little less knowledge on this than a few of the other coins that I've talked about in this video. However, it is a coin that I think deserves attention, and that is why I wanted to bring it to you here in this webisode. Oh, so if you guys are new, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, as we do Bitcoin updates, usually daily as well. Usually that's what we're going to be talking about. So if you want access to those critical time alerts, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. And for anybody interested in trading this market, make sure to take advantage of our link below to Bybit, up to an additional $620 for trading when you use our link below. Experienced traders only, and if you're looking to support the channel as well. And guys, make sure to leave some comments of what altcoins you think maybe you'd want me to cover in the future. And yeah, we can definitely consider throwing that into another altcoin video.